This is a rarely heard A minor sonata composed by Friedrich Kalkbrenner in 1819. Now listen to the beginning of Chopin's G minor cello sonata completed in 1847. Though separated by nearly 3 decades, these two pieces share some striking similarities. Both are in 4/4 time, minor keys, marked allegro moderato, and built around an inverted arch design, starting on the tonic, dipping to the dominant, and climbing back. Their harmonic paths diverge a little bit later, but both reach the same dominant chord before repeating and elaborating on their primary themes. None of these features are unique on their own, but when taken together, it's hard not to wonder, is this a coincidence? We know that Chopin admired Kalkbrenner. He studied his music from a young age, sought his mentorship after arriving in Paris in 1831, and even dedicated his first piano concerto to him. Kalkbrenner, in turn, helped to launch Chopin's career by arranging his early concerts. So it's plausible that Chopin knew of Kalkbrenner's A minor sonata, but would he have been quoting him in his final major masterwork in the 1840s? To dig deeper, I reviewed Chopin's surviving sketches for the cello sonata. If he were quoting Kalkbrenner, the theme would likely appear fully formed early on. Instead, what we find is that Chopin's sketches show him struggling to find the right opening. In October of 1846, he wrote, "I play a little, I write a little. I am at times content, at other times not. I throw it in a corner, then I gather it up anew." These sketches show messy scribbling and frequent changes, but one of the first stable ideas was the dominant arpeggio that introduces the cello's first entry. Gradually, in Chopin's sketches, the first theme takes shape. First with the cello, then as an introductory piano solo. Finally, after working through other movements, Chopin returned and finalized the 3-part opening. First, the piano's motto, then the dominant arpeggio, and the cello's entrance. This roundabout process suggests exactly what we suspected. Chopin wasn't consciously quoting Kalkbrenner. At most, they were drawing from similar traditions and producing very different results. Still, the connection isn't random. Even at the height of his originality in the 1840s, Chopin still built on structures inherited from the models of his student years, including Kalkbrenner. Resemblance to Kalkbrenner's sonata is only fresh evidence of this deeper, more nuanced lineage. It fits alongside other well-known influences on Chopin. He modeled his nocturnes closely on John Field's. There are even some textural similarities in Moscheles' 1834 Impromptu and Chopin's Fantasy Impromptu of the same year. And then there are some smaller hints of Chopin's style in works like Kuhlau's Opus 4 Sonata from 1810, which brings to mind not only the melismatic runs of Chopin's nocturnes, but also the elegantly accented dissonances of his melodies. To To be clear, this last example is the result of shared stylistic habits. It's not an example of direct borrowing. But far from undermining Chopin's originality, recognizing these influences highlights how he forged new ideas from inherited styles. But this comparison with Kalkbrenner Sonata sheds light on another popular myth, that Chopin's Cello Sonata was inspired by Schubert's Winterreise.
The line in a piano is very similar, and the dotted rhythm is very similar.
In the liner notes of Stephen Isserlis's Cello Sonata recording, he relates the theory that Chopin may have quoted Gute Nacht in the sonata's opening theme, drawing a parallel between Schubert's Lonely Traveler and Chopin's own heartbreak after his breakup with George Sand. But when you actually compare the two melodies, Gute Nacht shares far less in common with Chopin's sonata than Kalkbrenner's theme does. And yet, while the Schubert theory is repeated in program notes and blogs, the much stronger resemblance to Kalkbrenner has gone unnoticed. This should make us more cautious when drawing conclusions about musical influence. Resemblance doesn't always imply conscious borrowing. It's true that no music is created in a vacuum, but tracing influences isn't about cherry-picking, emotionally satisfying narratives. Often, the threads lead not just to towering figures like Schubert, but also to now obscure composers like Kalkbrenner, who helped shape the musical world that Chopin inherited.